Now, for the Yankees, it's been just about perfect. But for the perfect man, David Wells, a bit of a shoulder problem. Today, he's a lame Yankee. David Cone pitches instead, missing his last start after being bitten by a dog. There was a time when he would have bitten back. The Marlins have lost 10 straight. And today, rookie Ryan Dempster makes his second Major League start. Hey, can we talk?
Live at Yankee Stadium and on the Marlin Television Network, it is Florida Marlin baseball this afternoon under cloudy skies in the Bronx. It'll be the finale of a three-game series. The Marlins and the Yankees. Interleague play continues. And hello again, baseball fans. Joe Angel alongside Tommy Hutton. Of course, the Yankees have won 6 in a row. Marlins are trying to end a 10-game losing streak. Hey, Tommy, big day for Todd Dunwoody yesterday. He's been slumping. I mean, the club collectively has been slumping. But Dunwoody, he's only won for his last 13. A home run at Yankee Stadium yesterday.
You know, and that's it, too. The home run at Yankee Stadium. I think every young player who ever dreams of playing in the major leagues, sometime, somewhere down the line, dreams of maybe hitting a home run in the house that Ruth built. And Todd Dunwoody, the 23-year-old out of Lafayette, Indiana, was able to do that in the ball game yesterday. The way the Yankees were trying to pitch Todd yesterday, they were trying to work him inside but keep the ball up. Ramiro Mendoza got it in, but it was down right in the wheelhouse of Todd Dunwoody, and he smoked it into right center field. Never a question. He hit the ball hard off Ramiro Mendoza. The thing that Dunwoody's working on right now, Joe, he struck out 15 times. He's only walked twice, and anytime a young hitter has that ratio, you'd like to see it the other way around, a little more patient up at the plate. That's something that Todd's working on.
All right, very good. Now, the bad news, we're spending the entire weekend at Bernie's. We're talking about Bernie Williams. Bernie, he was the player of the month for the month of May, hit over 400. He's been hitting about 450 his last 55 at-bats, and Tommy, yesterday he had the big hit, a 3-run home run.
Wow, look at those numbers of Bernie Williams. He's only 29 years of age. On-base percentage, almost 450. He's almost hitting 350. He's also played in every ball game the Yankees have played this year. If you look at the game yesterday, probably the only mistake that Jesus Sanchez made was this little changeup out over the plate. And when you make a mistake to Bernie Williams, yeah, it is Bernie's weekend here at Yankee Stadium, and Bernie Williams hit the 3-run shot. Here's a guy who's averaged 21 home runs and 100 RBIs. He's very steady, and in postseason he's hit 8 home runs, so they need to keep him healthy too.
Yeah, he is a dangerous man. Now, the good news at Yankee Stadium today is the fact that David Wells has a bad shoulder. He cannot pitch here today. Tommy, the bad news is David Cone can pitch. That's bad news. The pitching matchup brought to you by Miller Lite. David Cone, who lost his first start of the season, but he has won 7 in a row, and he is coming back from a dog bite. That's why he's missed his last start. Another rookie starting for Florida. All the play-by-play is coming up next. Marlins baseball on the Florida Marlin Television Network is being brought to you in part by Bell South, proud to be the official telecommunications sponsor of the Florida Marlins. By Toyota's quality line of cars and trucks. Toyota, every day. By United, you deserve a higher level of service. That's why United Airlines is rising. By your South Florida Ford dealers. You can't afford not to drive a Ford. And by Miller Lite. Remind you that whenever you feel good, hey, it's Miller time.
Every day I have to make a living. And probably like you, I have to budget my money and live within my means. So when I buy something, I want my money's worth. And if I'm treated fairly, I'll go back to that place again. You know, building a relationship like that, the secret to good business.
The Florida Marlins present Nations Bank Kids Opening Night, when the Marlins battle the Mets Friday, June 12th at 7:05. For all kids 12 and under, select seating areas are only $1, a savings of $11.50. Plus, they'll also receive a complimentary Marlins wallet. So be here Friday, June 12th at 7:05 when the Marlins battle the Mets and get a Marlins wallet courtesy of Nations Bank. For tickets, call Ticketmaster at 305-350-5050.
Back here at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, the finale of this three-game series about to get underway. We'll check out the Marlin lineup as presented by Jim Leland, and David Cohn will take on, again, a young lineup. Dunwoody, Renteria, Kotze at the top. They've been slumping collectively. In fact, the lineup here today in the first two games against the Yankees here with a collective batting average of only 135. So they've had difficulty scoring runs. Dunwoody had the home run yesterday. Derek Lee hoping to break out of an extended slump here this afternoon.
Well, defensively for Joe Torre's Yankees, we see pretty much the same outfield. We see Soho subbing for Derek Jeter, who's on the disabled list. Of course, Knobloch and Martinez over on the right side. Joe Girardi does the catching today, and Scott Brocious, who I think may have been a little bit of a question mark for the Yankees when this season started, but defensively, they picked him up over the winter, but defensively and offensively, he's been a real bonus for New York fans this season, hitting over 300 and playing steady defense at third base. You know, Joe mentioned the fact that David Wells was scheduled to start, and a lot of times during the course of the season, a starter is scratched at the last minute. You get somebody out of the bullpen. Well, in this case, it happens to be David Cohn, 35-year-old veteran, who is not pitching out of the bullpen. He just missed his turn the other day because of that dog bite on the right index finger. His ERA looks very high, but you go back to his first two starts of the season. In those first two starts, he gave up 16 runs in 9 2/3 innings. So that's why the ERA looks much more inflated. He still has a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. He still has a devastating splitter, and he gives you breaking balls at all kinds of different angles. So David Cohn is a tough pitcher.
Well, he can be very cagey. Hey, I got a good idea, Tommy. Let's check out the Toyota game book against this guy.
Well, man's best friend, his mom's dog, was the one that bit that index finger, and you see the low 90s, the heat and the splitter, and yeah, back in '92, remember the Toronto Blue Jays picked up David Cohn to finish out the final month and a half of the season. He took him to a World Series, and at that time he was referred to as a hired gun, and he's done that a couple of times in his career, going from team to team. Right now he's under contract and hired by George Steinbrenner, the New York Yankees.
We got to get down to the bottom of this, though, Tommy. I mean, here's a guy who was bitten by a dog on his right index finger, which caused him to miss one start. That enabled El Duque, Orlando Hernandez, to come up and make a start. And boy, what a splash he made. So, hey, El Duque has got to be very grateful to that dog.
Well, it's kind of interesting with David Wells missing his start today. He's going to be pushed back, will probably work over the weekend. And El Duque, who they wondered if he was going to start again, will pitch Tuesday night when they play in Montreal.
Well, the Yankees just keep coming up with answers, don't they? Dunwoody now, and he takes upstairs. So this
pretty good answers, too.
is underway, yeah. Well, the Yankees don't have dilemmas. They've got answers. David Cohn, mentioned he's 35 years of age now. And here's a guy, Tommy, who was almost a New Year's baby. He was born on January 2nd, back in 1963, born in Kansas City. And ironically enough, he would eventually make his major league debut for Kansas City back in 1986. And now it is 2-1 to Dunwoody. This, by the way, for David Cohn, his second career start against Florida. Dunwoody, a batting average of .242, had the big home run here yesterday, and he fouls it away. So it's even up at 2-2 now. Dunwoody, like many of the Marlins, have been slumping. In fact, we mentioned in the opening Take a look at the Florida offense. Collectively, these guys hitting only 135 against the Yankees in the first 2 games. And that ball is found away. Of course, Florida will be looking at the situation now, Tommy. The Marlins right now just don't have a whole lot of punch. If they're going to score runs, they're going to have to do it with 3, 4, 5 consecutive singles. And maybe a double in there somewhere.
Yeah, you hope you get some gappers in between those singles, too.
Just nicked it foul and stays alive. So the count stays at 2-2. We talked about David Cone, and made his major league debut with Kansas City in 1986. And, of course, he was also at one time a 20-game winner for the Mets in 1988. Then he went back to Kansas City. And, Tommy, it was with the Royals that he won a Cy Young Award in 1994. And Dunwoody goes down swinging.
That's the one thing about David Cone. Even though he's coming off shoulder surgery, which he had last year, had some shoulder problems toward the end of the season, too, last year. He still has that good moving fastball.
Dunwoody goes down, and now he'll go to work on El Nino. In that 1994 season at Kansas City, he won the Cy Young, even though he won only 16 games that year. His record was 16-5. He eventually became a Yankee in 1995. David Cone.
That was the strike season. He only had 23 starts in 94.
And he won 16 of them. The fact that he did not win 20 was not his fault. I mean, nobody played a full season that year. You see Edgar's numbers. He is only 1 for 8 in the first 2 games. And he's only 4 for his last 24. So even Renteria has cooled down. 1 gone, bases empty. David Cone, who last year had 222 strikeouts in 195 innings. He was second in the American League last year as far as strikeouts per 9 innings. Well, he's got 2 strikeouts already today.
You know, we've talked about his other pitches, the splitter and the many different curveballs he throws, but he stayed with the fastball here to the first 2 hitters in Todd Dunwoody and Edgar Renteria.
You see Edgar not ready. He was late. Now here's Kotsay. Pete takes a fastball for a called strike. And Kotsay is only 2 for his last 20. So you can see collectively they've had difficulty on offense of late. Kotsay, who has not had a hit in the series, 0 for 8 in the Bronx. That time he got Kotsay to chase it upstairs.
That's that one you have to try to stay away from. With David Cone out there, he has that, but then in the back of your mind, you also have to remind yourself of that splitter, but he's yet to throw it here in this inning.
Now the 2-strike delivery, and Kotsay lays off that one. Cone was a fast worker. He got him looking, and he got him on a breaking ball on the outside corner. And David Cone, after the dog bite, has bitten back as he strikes out the side. In New York, we head to the bottom of the first.
Miller Lite.
You picked the wrong bar, pal.
One Miller Lite.
Mom, when are we gonna get there? How many more miles?
Ever since you started traveling, it's been like this. You're left hanging with no idea what's going on. That's why United Airlines provides up-to-the-minute information at the gate.
Can I go to the bathroom?
Especially when there's a delay. It's just one more way United is rising.
This is Imagine TV.
Let's Let's surf the news.
With low 1.9% APR plus $19.75 in total savings, Mercury Mountaineer gives you a mega-size interior, formidable V8 power, and a bold new look.
This just in. Cougar loose on the streets of the city. Let's go live.
Till next time, imagine yourself in a Mercury.
Back at Yankee Stadium, we'll check out the Yankee lineup. Joe Torre's lineup, brought to you by Bell South. And, of course, you look at O'Neill, he's done some damage. Martinez has done some damage. Bernie had a 3-run home run yesterday. Darryl Strawberry has a home run in the series. But it all starts with Chuck Knobloch at the top, who has gone 4 for 7, and he has been on base 6 times in the first 2 games. So he has been the table setter.
Basically, a lot of guys who've done a lot of damage. There's the defense, Todd Zeile, who's made some good defensive plays at third base. And believe it or not, Todd Zeile has more major league experience than the rest of the names you see out there with his 9 years in the big leagues. So he anchors that infield over at third and looks for Ryan Dempster to fire some strikes.
Ryan Dempster making his second major league start. He has not been a mystery. He's made a couple of relief appearances. Opponents hitting .500 against him, though. 9 for 18. And now the count to Knobloch is 2 balls and no strikes.
Well, that's right. If you remember the damage done early to Ryan in his last outing against the Cubs, those 2-run homers by Sosa and Rodriguez in the first inning.
Actually, when he made his major league debut, it was in relief against the Pirates. And he retired the first 3 men that he faced in the major leagues. But it's only his second start. The learning process continues, Tommy. Another kid out there pitching for Florida who is his AA ball last year. And he misses inside. So they count 3-1 now.
I think a point made by Jim Leland and by Dave Dombrowski is that he hopes these young pitchers can last long enough. I mean, pitch into the 5th, 6th, 7th inning so they can learn. If they keep getting hit early and have to be taken out of the game early, then you don't go through that learning process.
Well, Knobloch gets a walk. Of course, Knobloch gets on base against even the best of veterans. That time missed on a 3-1 pitch. Knobloch has now been on 7 times in the first, well, just over 2 games. In New York this weekend. And who knows, maybe right now, Tommy, maybe putting the final touches on the Marlin purchase.
That's that final investor right there that Don Smiley's talking to.
Don't say final when you're in New York, especially in the Bronx, where breaking ball misses low and outside. Well, we certainly wish Don Smiley nothing but the best. We hope that he's able to put that deal together. The owners are meeting in Seattle in just a few days. It's going to be touch and go, I think. You get the feeling, though, Tommy, that the longer it takes Don Smiley to get that deal done, well, the harder it becomes to get done.
I tell you, the other thing Don Smiley may be calling just to make sure that check cleared that he wrote at FAO Schwartz. His young son Donnie's with him, and they had a ball over there the other day.
You can spend a couple of days in that place, can't you? It's an entire city block long. It's a huge toy department. There's a good fastball. Well, the count to Soho now at 2-1.
One of the most difficult parts for Ryan Dempster pitching against this particular ball club is that we've talked about the Yankee hitters. They're so patient. They're not going to hurt themselves. So they're going to make a young pitcher come in the strike zone.
Well, yesterday, Jesus Sanchez stayed alive by inducing double play balls. He got 2 in the first 2 innings, and now he's 2-2 to Soho.
And actually got a little help right there from Soho, who was trying to hit that ball in the hole on the right side with that inside-out swing, but swung at a pitch that was probably ball 3.
So the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Edgar Renteria and Craig Counsell up the middle as they cheat in double play position, trying to get that 2-for-1 deal. Todd Zeile backed up at third base, and the outfield very much straight away and not too deep against Soho, who has gone 2 for 7 in the first 2 games. The Yankees have won 6 straight, and they now lead their division by 10.5 games. now Block gets back. Well, Jesus Sanchez, after starting yesterday, today doing his homework. Up the middle. Counsell gets one, and he gets two. Nicely done by Counsell. His momentum took him past the bag, but he made the U-turn, got the lead runner, and then got the double play.
Well, I tell you what, that's why infielders have to have such good footwork and balance. Craig Counsell keeps his balance right there, then is able to step and throw all at the same time. That appeared to be easy, but he had all his momentum taking him the other way. He had to put on the brakes, get his balance, then find the bag, and then complete the throw. Nice play by Craig.
Yes, sir. There's that double play ball we talked about. Now with 2 outs and the bases empty, Paul O'Neill will come up to hit. Now with the bases, no Yankees out there. All of a sudden, Dempster can feel pretty good about this situation. And there's ball 1 to O'Neill.
We've talked this entire weekend of all the young players the Marlins have making their initial appearance at Yankee Stadium. How about Brian Dempster coming from a small town in British Columbia in Canada, and all of a sudden he finds himself starting a game at Yankee Stadium.
That ball is gone into the bleachers in right center. And Paul O'Neill has given the Yankees a 1-0 lead. Well, the Yankees have not been a great home run hitting team. They're only 9th in the American League in home runs, but they can hurt you that way. O'Neill with number 7 for him.
That's how big that double play was that was turned prior to O'Neill. Breaking ball, he hasn't thrown a lot. A little breaking ball out over the plate, and Paul O'Neill with that home run now extends his hitting streak to 15 games.
And the fastball misses inside to Tino Martinez. Indeed, O'Neill 15 consecutive games. And he's hit about 400 now, his last 54 at-bats. Boy, does he love hitting at Yankee Stadium. And boy, does he love hitting in the American League. I mean, as a National Leaguer, his lifetime batting average is about 280. In the American League, even lower than that, I guess. In the American League, well over 300 as a hitter. Tino Martinez took the night off last night. See his numbers. And a 4-pitch walk. The second walk given up by Dempster this inning. Boy, that double play was big. And instead of 2-0, it's 1-0. But now he'll go to work on Bernie Williams.
What do you think about the lineup after Soho with left-handed hitters? O'Neill, Martinez, of course, Bernie a switch hitter, and then following Bernie, Darryl Strawberry. There's some pop right there in those 4 guys.
Well, the Yankees in quest of what would be their 44th win against only 13 losses, and that's after a 1-4 start. That's astounding what the Yankees have done. The question is, are they that good? And can they continue this pace? In 1927, the Yankees won 110 games, and that remains the club record. Right now, they're on a pace to win about 115 games. And Bernie takes it low and outside.
I think their concerns right now would be the health of David Cone. Joe Torre wants to make sure he keeps his veteran right-hander healthy throughout the season, because Cone did have shoulder problems in September last year. The same thing with David Wells, who's also 35 years old and also has had some shoulder problems. That's why he's not starting today.
And a good fastball. And of course, right now, Derek Jeter's on the DL with a pulled side muscle. Plus, the Yankees can afford to have Jeter on the DL right now. Their level of competition right now, they feel they can get by. They have gone 22 series now without losing one. And the count to Bernie is now 3-1. So this is a dangerous moment right now, Tommy. 3-1 to Bernie with a base runner at first base. O'Neill having hit the home run. Let's see how aggressive Dempster gets here. This is when you find out a little something about a pitcher. Well, he threw it in the dirt. So that's 3 walks now issued by Dempster. And with runners on first and second, it's going to bring up the straw man. It also brings out Rich Doobie for a little powwow. Boy, how many times has Jim Leland seen this? A youngster out there struggling and refusing to throw strikes.
You know, it's the type of situation, too, that I think Jim, over the last 2 games here in New York, has felt pretty good about the way the club has played. He hasn't even, yes, he'd like to win, but he hasn't even thought about wins. He's just thinking about playing good baseball, and he's felt pretty good about the way the club has played defensively, the way he's seen Fontenot pitch, the way Jesus Sanchez rebounded after the bad mistake to Bernie Williams. And now he'd like to see Ryan Dempster put it together.
Well, now he'll go to work on Strawberry. Remember, in game 1 of the series, Strawberry had the bases empty home run that put the Yankees ahead to stay in the bottom of the 7th inning. And he takes a ball.
You know, it's funny. Sometimes you'll see a pitcher miss a lot up. Ryan Dempster's missing with that sinking fastball, but he's missing down with it.
And a little chopper. Derek Lee says he'll do it. He does. So even though Ryan Dempster struggled, he walked 3 men, and he also gave up a home run. But he allows only 1 run, so he'll now go sit in the dugout and say, well, you know, it's only 1 run. It's early. I can survive. 1-0 Yankees.
It's no surprise that medical technology is going places it never has.
Thanks for joining us, Doctor.
Or that a communications company is helping bring the world's most innovative treatments to the South.
Do you see the cyst?
You were correct. It's attached to the fornix.
What may be surprising is exactly who developed this extensive telemedicine network. It's not AT&T. It's not MCI. It's Bell South.
Thank you, Doctor.
Oh, it was a team effort.
From high-tech to healthcare, we're keeping you in tip-top shape.
Announcing the new Miller Lite Scratch and Sniff Fantasy Sweepstakes. If you can smell it, you can win it.
It smells like beef.
Smell beef and win 400 pounds of red meat.
You tiresome fool. It's obviously suntan oil.
Smell suntan oil and you win the grand prize. Be an extra on the Sports Illustrated swimsuit shoot.
Hi, Jimmy.
Score! Tell me about it.
See special displays for details.
Excuse me. I'm looking for Victoria Station.
What is it about people who work at gates? Would it hurt to talk?
At United Airlines, the people who work at our gates are making it their responsibility to answer questions, solve problems, and just lighten up a little. We know it breaks with tradition, but we're trying to reinvent an airline here.
Back at Yankee Stadium. Hey, let's take a look at the matchups on baseball, brought to you by United. Some games underway early. In the Atlanta game, Greg Maddux is looking for his 9th win. In the Pittsburgh game, Jason Schmidt is looking for his 9th win.
Yeah, Maddux has an early 2-0 lead. In that Philadelphia-Toronto matchup, Curt Schilling goes after a win against the Blue Jays, who will be in town to take on the Marlins tomorrow night.
Yep. And how about the San Francisco Giants? They have won 8 in a row. And if you had not noticed, it is now the Giants on top in the National League West. They have overtaken the San Diego Padres. And the Padres, who got off to the best start in franchise history, now suddenly looking up at San Francisco. The Giants just continue, Tommy, to amaze. They keep surprising people for some reason. That was the case last year. And they won their division title. Now it is 1-2 here to Todd Seal.
Well, Ryan Dempster getting another conversation from Rich Doobie. Rich probably saying, you know, you got good movement on that sinking fastball. You got Strawberry to hit the little weak ground ball. Just stay in the strike zone. Your stuff is good enough.
And now Zeal will back away. Talk about winning streaks. Of course, the Yankees have won 6 straight. And how about the Anaheim Angels? They've won 7 in a row. The Cubs have won 8 straight. And David Cone has picked up his 4th consecutive strikeout. He has started this afternoon by striking out the first 4 men he has seen.
And Todd Zeal, one of the few hitters that has seen David Cone quite often. He's seen him 37 times. That's his 38th at-bat career against Cone. He's hit a home run against him, but Cone throwing the ball well early.
Yeah, now we'll go to work on Floyd. 1 gone, bases empty. Yankees ahead 1-0. Top of number 2. Well, the winning streaks, the Pirates have won 7 straight. We mentioned the San Francisco Giants. They've won 8 straight. So a lot of hot teams right now. Cliff Lloyd has gone 1 for 7 in the series here in New York. Little fly ball left field. There's Chad Curtis. Well, that ends the strikeout streak. But that's out number 2, and now Ryan Jackson will come up to hit.
To see some of the other games being played this afternoon. You know, you talked about Anaheim, the way they've played. The Dodgers playing in Seattle. That's a big series. They've been getting good attendance for those games. But teams like Anaheim and San Francisco, sometimes you forget about because they're all the way out there on the West Coast. And sometimes you don't see those late scores, and you forget to look the next day, and all of a sudden they creep up on you.
A lot of times their scores aren't even in the papers. And so you find out 2 days later that they won again.
Hey, Joe, that's why I get online every evening. I can check those West Coast scores.
Yeah, sure. You can afford a computer. Don't rub it in like that. Now Jackson, the count 0-2. David Cone. Well, there was a game in October of 1991 in which he had 19 strikeouts. And that is his career high. Ball hit the shallow center. There's Bernie. It's his weekend. We'll take a local break. Against David Cone has been 6 up and 6 down with 4 strikeouts. Yankees ahead 1-0 as we head to the bottom of number 2.
Deep discounts, personal recommendations, millions of books. Barnes & Noble is now online at barnesandnoble.com.
Your car is who you are. Whether you're a Suburban, a Mustang, or even a Wrangler, it's easy to find yourself at AutoNation USA. Here you can pursue happiness without regret, choice without confusion, value without haggling. So before you test drive another used car, test drive AutoNation USA.
At first, Ramada and Holiday Inn may look similar. So to set us apart, at Ramada, we look for ways to do something special. At Ramada, our personal best will blow you away. For reservations, call 1-800-2-RAMADA.
Personal recommendations, deep discounts, millions of books. Barnes & Noble is now online at barnesandnoble.com.
All right, what's happening? Well, let's find out. Brought to you by Lincoln Mercury.
Well, it was a big week for Joe Morgan. He got to sing Take Me Out to the Ball Game at Wrigley Field. He worked a few college games in the College World Series and had his uniform number retired. Bobby Cox, I think sometimes you forget about his ability as a manager because of the clubs he's had. But congratulations to the Braves manager, and a little trouble in Cub City with Mark Grace hurt, injuring that foot. They need him in that lineup.
Yeah, but they've won 8 straight, so they're cooking pretty good. Now Dempster delivers a call strike to Chad Curtis. 1-0 New York, just getting started in the second here, bottom half. Curtis, who has gone 1 for 7 in the series. A little breaking ball goes right through it, and the count is 0-2.
I think that's something, and we saw it with Joe Fontenot. As soon as he got a little more confidence out there, we saw him utilize his other 2 pitches, the breaking ball and the changeup. And in Ryan Dempster's case, he also has to show those other 2 pitches.
Well, he showed him a breaking ball in the dirt. There's 1 and 2 now. Well, he's only 21. How many times you heard that this year? He's only 21. He's only 22. Well, he's just 23. Hey, this kid's only 21. He's a baby. And he strikes out Curtis. Out number 1.
Well, you show that off-speed stuff. Now all of a sudden it's tougher to lay off this 2-strike fastball that's out of the strike zone. And it has good velocity, good movement. Curtis can't stay away from it. No chance right there.
Now go to work on Scott Brocious. 1 gone, bases empty. Yankees ahead 1-0 here. Dempster against the bottom of the Yankee order, and the breaking ball stays up. So the Yankees off to a sizzling start under Joe Torre. The breaking ball catches the inside corner. Joe Torre, the Yankee skipper, who's well, he's going to be having a birthday next month. Going to be 58 on July 18th. He was born in 1940 in Brooklyn. A little ground ball, base hit right field. And now it'll bring up the catcher, Joe Girardi, the number 9 hitter. Well, we've been talking about Joe Torre, the fact that, of course, 2 years ago, a world champion manager with the Yankees. Joe Torre, a 9-time All-Star. He was the MVP in the National League in 1971. He's also the answer to a trivia question, Tommy. He is the first man ever to hit a home run at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium when the Milwaukee Braves became the Atlanta Braves. Well, breaking ball bounces it.
And what a great story it was a couple of years ago when the Yankees won the World Series.
Oh, yeah.
Joe Torre's brother Frank, who also spent some time in the major leagues. Frank undergoing a heart transplant. Understand he's doing well. That was just that was a touching story in '96.
In that 1966 season, when they became the Atlanta Braves, he wound up with 36 home runs that year, and that is still an Atlanta record for home runs by a catcher. That's a broken bat. He'll have to go to first base to get the out. That's out number 2. Now the top of the order comes up in Chuck Knobloch. Pretty good pitch, though, Tommy. Jammed him real nice.
Yeah, a little surprised to see the hit and run on with Brocious going on that pitch. Girardi is a hitter that Joe Torre will utilize this play, but when you have a young pitcher out there who hasn't been in the strike zone all that much, you usually don't see a hit and run put on, but it was right there, and Girardi did his job. He made contact. Brocious got to second base, but Girardi will have to use a new bat next time.
And now first base is open. Knobloch, the hitter, had a walk and was doubled up his first time up. And the breaking ball is at the letters.
You can tell by the way the hitters are taking the breaking ball that right now they've kind of put that out of their mind. They're all looking for that fastball, thinking that Ryan Dempster, the youngster, isn't going to get the breaking ball over.
Another off-speed pitch, and now 1-1 to Knobloch. Knobloch, who has been on base now 49 times in the last 19 games or so. Just every time you look up, he's on base somewhere. Well, he chases a low delivery. Zeal gobbles it up. One hop to Lee, who does a beautiful job of cradling it to get the out. For Derek Lee, that is not an easy play. That's a very tough throw that Zeal gave him, but he handled it. No runs on a hit. They'd lead 1 end of 2, 1-0 New York.
Hans and Elke Yeager had just moved in next door. So I thought I'd stop by and introduce myself. So how's it going? Couldn't help but notice they didn't speak much English, and that they were probably going to need some help setting up their phone service. Of course, as the resident phone guy, I knew Belsaw spoke several languages, including German. So I put Hans on the line while I continued to visit with his family. Never mind.
We got aisles of smiles
and people who care. A 4-star hotel high up in the air. Seats like sofas, food that's a feast. As you go west, your problems go east.
Wouldn't it be great if we could all fly commercials? Well, United is making the real world better, with improvements in service, seats, even faster gate check-ins. We're not perfect, but we're rising.
I'm the king of rap.
Guess I started my rap career December of '85. No, '86.
This is his first and my favorite.
I'm a rapper, man. I rap with passion.
When I first met him, I knew he was going to be a legend.
Soon I was rapping at parties and weddings.
You wanna be the
Look at this. Look at this. Look at the pattern. I rapped a present for my aunt years ago with this paper. What a man. This bro's got style.
All right, back here at Yankee Stadium. Well, Tommy, Derek Lee hadn't hit much lately, but defensively lately, he's made some pretty good plays.
Yeah, he has. He made a terrific one last inning. I'm not so sure if Todd Zeal wanted to one-hop this. Every once in a while, we see him do that. But what he does here is he catches Derek Lee in between. That's not an easy play. That's not the short hopper. That's not out far enough. That's a nice play by Derek.
And wouldn't you know it, the guy makes a great defensive play, and here he is leading off the next inning. Bottom of the order, Derek Lee, then Greg Zahn, and then Craig Counsell. Yankees up 1-0. And now it's even up at 1-1. Derek Lee, whose batting average down to 184. He is 0 for his last 22. And he's only 1 for his last 38. And the breaking ball had him off stride.
Tough situation for any hitter and a young hitter to come in having struggled as much as he has and have to face a David Cone.
Man. Boy, he gives you all those different angles, all those different breaking pitches, changing speeds. Every time he dropped down.
Yeah, there's one of those angles right there that he loves to do against righties.
Even up at 2-2 now. Well, Derek was 7 home runs, but it's been almost a month since he hit one. And now 3-2. So he's not doing Cone any favors by chasing a bad pitch here. Well, let's see what Cone comes up with on 3-2 now. Well, Girardi set up outside. That ball broke inside. And Derek Lee went right through it.
Yeah,
5 strikeouts now.
Not so sure that's exactly where they wanted this pitch, but the fastball where Girardi is not where it ends up, but it has good movement and it does the job. It served its purpose by getting the strikeout.
Well, he's got 5 now, and it'll go work on Greg Zahn. Greg Zahn, Tommy, who noticed on the team bus on the way to Yankee Stadium this morning, he noticed that I was wearing a brand new tie that I'd never worn before, and I guaranteed Greg Zahn that in this new tie, Tommy, there were at least 2 hits for him this afternoon. Well, there's the first. You know what? I think he believed me, too.
He believed you. When you're struggling and hit the ball hard and don't get hit, you'll believe just about anything.
And that's exactly what's been happening to Greg Zahn. He has hit the ball hard a few times, but right at people. That one found a hole.
Well, watch this ball move. Fastball kind of moves away, stayed at belt high, made it a little bit easier to hit that pitch, and Greg Zahn stayed right with it. A nice base hit.
Boy, he tied into it there, didn't he? Now here's Counsell. 1 ball to him. 1-0 New York here, top of number 3. Very cloudy, overcast, and a rather coolish day in the Bronx.
Thing is, though, Joe, if Greg Zahn keeps getting base hits, I'm going to get tired of seeing that same tie.
Yeah, but that would be a good cause. I mean, Zahn, he said he could use a few hits, hitting only 189 coming in here today. Counsell, 1 ball and 1 strike. Zahn, the base runner at first. David Cone. Yankees with the middle of the infield double play position. Scott Brocious in on the edge of the infield grass at third. A little breaking ball, and looper. Knobloch is backing up. And as he backtracks, he makes the catch. Out number 2. Now Dunwoody coming up to hit. Hey, Marlin fans, for up-to-date Marlins information 24 hours a day, all you have to do is call the Sports Authority Marlin fan phone. And that number is 305-626-7200. Now, Dunwoody is 0 for 1. He struck out his first at bat. And strike 1 to him. Well, a single by Greg Zahn, of course, and it's early in the game, and you don't want to be thinking about possible no-hitters. But when a pitcher starts out the game with 4 consecutive strikeouts, you begin to think about his good stuff that he brought with him today. A little pop-up. David Cone has never had a no-hitter. He's had 3 one-hitters in his career. Knobloch gets the 3rd out. Well, David Cone has given up 1 hit so far. As we head to the bottom of the 3rd, we will take a local break. Yankees ahead 1-0.
Maybe you can buy yourself a mansion or that quaint little house next door. But you can't afford not to drive a Ford.
Right now, lease the 98 Ford Windstar, the only minivan with a 5-star safety rating for only $221 a month. And that's loaded with features. Or buy a Windstar with up to $2,500 cash back. So get to your South Florida Ford dealer and let them prove
you can't afford not to drive a Ford.
Only one retriever can hunt for houses. The new personal retriever from Coldwell Banker Online searches daily for homes matching your profile and brings them to your email. Tell it what you want. It'll go fetch. Coldwell Banker, making real estate real easy.
Well, the Fuller family has eaten its way across the South, and now we're heading home with enough stories and recipes to fill a dozen cookbooks. We discovered Joe Pfeiffer's clam chowder, Jamie Morrow's amazing pot roast. We even rediscovered plain old chicken soup and a few other simple pleasures. Everywhere people opened their hearts to us, and that alone made the trip worthwhile. Bye-bye.
To show off their renovated rooms, Motel 6 is doing its first big special effects commercial ever. Here goes. Cool. I'm Tom Bodette, and we'll leave the light on for you.
Marlin Baseball on the Marlin Television Network is being brought to you in part by United. You deserve a higher level of service, and that's why United is rising. By your South Florida Lincoln Mercury dealers, they invite you to test drive the all-new Lincoln Navigator. And by Miller Lite to remind you that whenever you feel good, it's Miller time. Now the Yankees here, bottom of number 3. They have a 1-0 lead. Luis Sojo, and then Paul O'Neill, and then Tino Martinez coming up against this young right-hander, Ryan Dempster. The only run in this game, a home run by Paul O'Neill in the 1st. And Dempster gets ahead of Sojo. First time up, double play ball. Good pitch. Right there on the outside portion at the knees. Tough pitch to get to. 0-2 on Sojo. Sojo getting a chance to play some shortstop now with Derek Jeter on the 15-day disabled list. Got a piece of that one.
No, Ryan Dempster, Joe, one of the many young Marlins, had a chance to really enjoy Manhattan the other day on the off day. His girlfriend with him. They walked all over. Went to the Upper East Side, went down into the Village, and then went to a Broadway show. Saw one that I know you have a lot of interest in.
Yes.
They saw Bring In the Noise, Bring In the Funk. It's a good show, they said. Thumbs up.
I think that was taped in my hotel room last night. Oh, good pitch. After a breaking ball, he came in with a fastball that just barely caught the outside corner, about belt high.
Well, all of a sudden, after that first inning, you can see Ryan Dempster settling in a little bit better. And I think you can tell the kind of stuff he has by the way that fastball is moving.
There's Ryan Dempster, a one-time Texas Ranger. He'll go to work on O'Neill now at that home run earlier. Of course, he became a Marlin along with Rick Helling in the John Burkett deal. That's how Ryan Dempster got into a teal uniform. And O'Neill goes right through it, 0-1. Tommy, I know you and Dave O'Brien and a bunch of the guys got to see the play Titanic the other day.
Yeah, we went and saw Titanic. Honestly, I actually enjoyed the movie a little bit more than the play. It was very good. but I think I like the movie a little bit more.
Well, on stage, on Broadway here in New York, Titanic, you never see any water. And on a play called Titanic, how is that possible, Tom? I mean, there's got to be some water somewhere.
It's the effects.
Oh, I see. They leave it up to your imagination, I guess, huh? Now we'll check out the Gatorade league leaders in the RBI column.
How about Juan Gonzalez has a 21 RBI lead over the #2 man, Ken Griffey Jr.
Of course, Mark McGwire is second in the major leagues in RBIs. McGwire did not hit a home run yesterday, Tommy. What the heck is the matter with him?
Well, he's still on pace. He's still 6 home runs ahead of Roger Maris's record after 60 games.
1-2 to O'Neill. Now, Dempster has 2 strikeouts in this game. And he just did miss there.
I'll tell you what, Ken Griffey Jr. hit his 23rd. He's 1 home run ahead of Maris's record after 60 games.
How about Vinny Castilla? He's got, what, 22?
And that's as many that Maris had after 60 games.
Now, how about Galarraga? He's up there, isn't he? There's a whole bunch of guys chasing Roger Maris right now. Did he go? Yes, he did. On the appeal to third base. Dale Scott says he went. And so Dempster picks up his 3rd strikeout.
Well, again, he's putting in the back of the minds of the hitters that breaking ball that he's used very well. A few change-ups along with a good moving fastball, and O'Neill goes around. He couldn't quite hold up on that breaking ball in the dirt, and a nice play by Greg Zahn to stay with it and put the tag on O'Neill.
Now here's Tino Martinez with 2 outs, and now the Yankee on base. Hey, there's a good breaking ball. He gets ahead of Tino Martinez.
Yeah, Galarraga, Joe, has 21. And Greg Vaughn with the San Diego Padres has 20. He's been on a tear.
Boy, he might be the comeback player of the year in the National League. 1-1 to Tino Martinez. Well, you look around baseball, we mentioned San Francisco now leading the National League West by 1 game over San Diego. Chicago and Houston right now in a dead heat for the Central Division title. Atlanta with a 7-game lead over the Mets in the Eastern Division. In the American League, the Yankees, the Indians, and Texas, your division leaders. The Yankees up by 10.5. And as you can see, it is now raining at Yankee Stadium. Not too hard, but it is coming down. And now 2-2 on Tino. Well, the base is empty. Only a .222 hitter. And that's the situation right now. There's nobody on. That ball is drilled to deep right center. Way back. See ya. It's another bases empty home run. Yankees ahead 2-0 now.
We've seen some good fastballs from Ryan Dempster. We've seen movement on the pitch up and in, if you remember, to Curtis. This one was up, but Tino Martinez was able to extend. It was up and out over the plate. He was ready for it, and as soon as it left his bat, you knew it was going to find those bleachers.
Well, he hit 44 home runs last year, and for Tino, that's his 8th of this season. Remember last year, 44 home runs and 141 RBIs. So what a productive season he had last year as the Yankees won 97 games. That Bernie hits a little ground ball outside third base, a foul ball. Last year with 141 RBIs, the most by a Yankee since Don Mattingly in 1985 when he drove in 145 runs. So some heavy company for Tino Martinez. Bernie lays off the breaking ball. Dale Scott says no, he did not swing. In fact, his 44 home runs last year, Tommy, the most by a Yankee in 36 years. One-time Seattle Mariner. He's found a home in the Bronx. That ball is hit to deep center. Dunwoody backing up. Way back. Back to back. Yankees ahead 3-0. another weekend at Bernie's. His second home run in the series, his second home run this weekend. He got one yesterday, the big one.
You mentioned the fact that they don't have that guy on a pace to hit 40 or 50 home runs. Bernie Williams with that one there. That's number 9. Darryl Strawberry has 9. They're tied for the team lead. But a fastball, again, movement, but out over the center of the plate. Right in Bernie's wheelhouse. You don't see many hit into that area in center field.
And now Strawberry takes a ball. So the Yankees have gone deep 3 times. All of them with the bases empty. They have a 3-0 lead. And they've been able to hit at least 1 home run in each of the 3 games this weekend. A knee-high strike to Strawberry. Yesterday, Bernie hit the 3-run homer. And in the first game, Strawberry hit one with the bases empty. And lays off the breaking ball. So now 2-1. Yankees coming in here 9th in the American League in home runs. But they've got the power stroke today. Low bouncer. Foul. Now 2-2. Dempster with the count 2-2, and here it comes. Now 3-2. And just off the outside corner.
Just making an announcement, Joe, that I knew there hadn't been a whole lot of balls hit to that straightaway center field area. Since the remodeling of Yankee Stadium back in 76 when they moved back in, 74 and 75 they played over at Shea. Only been 16 balls hit into that center field area. Bernie's done it twice. That's a long way out there.
Well, it's 408 to dead center. So I would imagine that's another, what, 30, 40 feet to get into that black section in dead center. Into the hitter's background out there.
Guess you'd like to see some of the spots McGuire could reach here at Yankee Stadium, wouldn't you?
Yeah, McGuire's home runs here would be framed beautifully. Well, 0-1 to Curtis. Little chopper, slowly hit. Seal, tough play. On the run, in the dirt. And Derek Lee dug it out. But back-to-back home runs at Yankee Stadium. And now through 3. Yankees ahead 3-0. Dave O'Brien will join you next. And you and I will get together again in the 7th. I can't wait.
Personal space. Seems like it's getting harder and harder to come by. But when you travel on United Airlines, it's actually getting easier, with more spacious wide-body planes than any other airline. It's one more way United is rising.
Fitting in, schmitting in. The new RAV4. It's not for everyone, only you.
Dave and Tommy with you. Not a good start for the Marlins today, trying to snap a 10-game losing skid. Dempster, aside from the home run ball, not pitching that badly, but 3 home runs.
You know, you try to look at positives, and I think the key right there, after he gave up the home run in the first inning, he walked a couple of batters. He was able to regroup and get out of that inning, but a couple of balls left out over the plate, fastballs that the Yankees didn't waste any time on.
Edgar Renteria to start this frame. Edgar 0 for 1 with a strikeout. David Cone has been outstanding. He's been able to throw all his stuff in the strike zone. Struck out the first 3 Marlins to begin the day. Dunwoody, Renteria, and Kotsay. Then he got Zeal to begin the second inning, so it was 4 for 4. He's tallied a total of 5 whiffs and allowed 1 hit by Greg Zahn. Edgar Renteria at 278. Right now 4th in the league in stolen bases, but on this trip he hasn't been on base very much. The count is 0-2. A little bit of weather starting to move in from what we're being told. It's been spitting on us off and on throughout the afternoon, but some gray clouds starting to fill up those patches of blue. Breaking ball in there for strike 3. 6 strikeouts for Cone. He gets Renteria looking, gets him for the second time. The homers from last inning, beginning with Tino Martinez off of Dempster.
And check out the pitches. The fastball up, but it's out over the plate. Great extension by Tino Martinez. A couple of left-handers that can really pound the ball. And the switch hitter, Bernie Williams, again, the ball started in, moved out over the plate. Bernie was able to extend and launch it into center field.
So Tino Martinez hit his 8th, Williams hit his 9th, and Bernie Williams homering into the center field bleacher area, the black seats. Just the 16th time that's been done since Yankee Stadium was remodeled. The count on Kotsay, 1 ball, 1 strike.
To me, the one most memorable is that one Reggie Jackson hit, the 3rd one he hit in the game in the World Series against Charlie Huff. Charlie probably remembers that one too.
Very proud of it, in fact. Made him a star. Made him a household name. Kotsay was whiffed looking in the first inning. Doesn't happen very often. Mark at 284. Only 3 hits in 22 at-bats on this road trip. He's certainly not alone. He flies this one to left. And Curtis will romp in underneath. 2 down.
Type of game, I think, Dave, if David Wells had started, we probably would have seen Dave Berg get a start at second base, and most likely would have seen John Cangelosi with a start in the outfield somewhere. But once the Yankees made their change, Jim Leland stayed pretty much with the left-handed bats that have been in there most of this trip.
And if you missed it, David Wells was supposed to pitch today. An 8-1 record the Marlins would have been up against, and a fellow who tossed a perfect game earlier this season, but he has tendonitis. And so David Cone, who had to miss a start because he was bitten by his mom's puppy on his right index finger. We kid you not. And Tommy, we were always taught in journalism school that it's only a story if man bites dog. Otherwise, it's not a story. But in this case, it certainly was.
Unless it's in New York.
When the dog bit the man, and if the man happens to be David Cone in New York. Cone has been very strong today, and there's the hand that the puppy gobbled up. Obviously, that little puppy is a Red Sox fan, because if he's a Yankee fan, he bites the left hand.
You know, we mentioned earlier the fact that Cone started his career with Kansas City, and when he was traded to the Mets, he was traded for a catcher by the name of Ed Hearn. And that was a story that I've heard John Schuerholz tell, now the Atlanta Braves general manager. At that time, he was a Kansas City Royals GM, and he said one of his sons used to ask him all the time, why did you trade David Cone for Ed Hearn?
Sure, jump on him. It's a good question, though. Fly to center field. Williams will have some room behind him. It's another 1-2-3 inning for David Cone, who's allowed just 1 hit. That has been it. Time for a local break. We're in the middle of the 4th inning. It's 3-0 Yankees.
This is the perfect home office furniture. It hardly takes up room, with shelves, drawers, space for files, the computer, and and a lot more. Because it's Dad's turn now. And at El Dorado, the best gifts for Father's Day are ready for delivery with no payments or interest for a full year. How about this comfortable recliner? He'll get a great massage and the phone's right on hand. For a special Father's Day gift, come to El Dorado today, where 7 sons know what a father prefers.
Select road. Validating tires. VF Goodrich. Approved.
What kind of road can you drive on with VF Goodrich tires?
Enjoy.
Any road you choose. VF Goodrich tires. Take control.
The Saab Gripen. For those seeking air superiority. The new Saab 9.5. For those seeking ground superiority.
Fans, Father's Day is just around the corner, and if we got the perfect gift for you, call 305-626-7353 to order your 100% silk handmade tie of the month, available solely through the Marlins Baseball Club. Supplies are limited, so call today. Even more limited because both Tommy and I got ours yesterday, and we're not giving them up. Scott Brocious will lead off the inning. It is 3-0 Yankees on 3 solo homers by O'Neill, Martinez, and Williams. So the heart of their order, the 3, 4, and 5 hitters have swung the bat like the heart of the order today. 1 ball, 1 strike from Ryan Dempster. Brocious with a single, raising his average to 323. And rips another base hit to left. He waited on that one very nicely. Brocious has given them a terrific lift. I don't think anyone expected him to be hitting over 320 at this time of the year. They wanted good defense and have gotten that, but a lot of extra offense too.
Yeah, he's really added a lot and been a nice surprise for the Yankees defensively, offensively. You know, remember the first base hit he got was a fastball. He stayed back on, hit it the other way. This time he got himself a breaking ball and was able to pull the trigger and pull it.
Now they've got a third baseman, of course, they use every day instead of having to platoon, say, a Wade Boggs and a Charlie Hayes. And he's really delivered. Joe Girardi, the batter now. Girardi 0 for 1. The Yankees have out-hit the Marlins 5-1. And he bunts it. That'll advance the runner. Dempster will throw out Girardi. But Brocious is into scoring position at second with 1 away.
I think if you look at the Yankee lineup, they only have a couple of positions where they'll utilize a platoon, catcher being one of them, and Girardi's been sharing duties with Jorge Posada, who's done a terrific job. And then in left field, they've got an abundance of guys they can play in left. Chad Curtis is seen most of the time, but Tim Raines can go out there, Darryl Strawberry occasionally when they're not DHing. But other than that, the rest of the lineup is pretty much set.
Knobloch hitless today, but he's 4 for 8 in the series.
Hello now.
And in his last 19 games, he's hitting .388. Traded in February from Minnesota. He was 7 years a Minnesota Twin, hitting over 300 in his career there. His numbers with runners in scoring position. A couple of home runs. He's hit 4 on the season. He can jack one out occasionally. The Yankees are not a big-time home run hitting team. Not like, for example, Seattle or even a club like Baltimore, but they hit plenty. They hit enough, and they run the bases, and they'll take walks. And they'll do this a lot, too. This fella certainly will. Knobloch gets in the way of a lot of pitches. He's a hit batsman taking his base. That's the category where the Yankees are right near the top of the league.
Looked like a fastball, got away from Ryan Dempster, and of course the fans boo, but Ryan just trying to get himself consistently in the strike zone. No intention right there trying to hit Knobloch. Last thing you want to do is get further down in this order.
Knobloch leads the league. He's been hit 10 times. Runners at first and second, one away. The Marlins already have Vic Derensburg warming up. But this might be a double play, and it will be. A little flare to Counsell off the bat of Soho, and that's a twin killing. So Dempster survives another frame. We've completed 4, and it remains the Yankees 3, the Marlins nothing.
My friend J.D. was about to deliver the punchline of his surefire never-failed joke.
And then the elephant says, "Not with my trunk, you don't."
Seems his son Daryl had a knack for knowing the exact worst time to unplug the phone so he could go online.
Not with my trunk. Hello.
So I suggested they get an additional phone line, which allowed J.D. to say his surefire joke without Daryl's constant interruption.
And the elephant says, "Not with my trunk, you don't." Well, you know, I mean, he didn't want to with his trunk.
Poor dears must be parched. Excuse me, I'm Ruthie Gill. I bet you golfers really swing up a thirst.
Zephyr Hills?
It's from the deepest source of spring water in Florida.
Tastes good.
Icy cold Zephyr Hills and I come from the same town. It's only a 308-mile drive from here.
That's a heck of a drive. Thanks, pal.
Flex your knees. You see how I'm doing?
Okay.
You want to be bouncy. Keep it in the fairway.
Well, the Fuller family has eaten its way across the South, and now we're heading home, with enough stories and recipes to fill a dozen cookbooks. We discovered Joe Pfeiffer's clam chowder, Jamie Morrow's amazing pot roast. We even rediscovered plain old chicken soup and a few other simple pleasures. Everywhere people opened their hearts to us, and that alone made the trip worthwhile. Bye-bye.
Marlins baseball on the Florida Marlin Television Network is being brought to you in part by Bell South, proud to be the official telecommunications sponsor of the Florida Marlins. By American Airlines, something special in the air. By your local Nissan retailers, who remind you that life is a journey, so enjoy the ride. And by Budweiser, who salutes America's responsible drinkers.
We take it to the top half of the 5th inning. At Yankee Stadium, here is one of our cameramen. Oh, my goodness, Tom, it's Derek Jeter.
He's getting a little on-the-job training while he's on the disabled list. Keep it up, young man. You're doing well.
You may make something of yourself one day. You may even date a pop star. A low fly ball to center field. Cliff Floyd going after the first pitch from David Cone. And he flies right to Bertie Williams, one away. Well, Derek right now on the DL, and he hates it. He told the general manager, "I hate it. I don't know what you guys are doing to me. I can play." That's exactly why they put him on the DL, with that strained abdominal muscle.
Well, they figured he would have tried to play, maybe check a swing again, and then be out for 2 months instead of 2 weeks.
But boy, he loves to play as much as anybody in baseball, and this is killing him. But the Yankees have been winning. They won 6 in a row. Ryan Jackson takes a ball outside. He's flied to center today.
And you know he's going to take some heat from his teammates if they continue to win without him.
They're going to say, "Hey, what is all this talk about you being an all-star? We don't need you."
Yeah, take a couple more weeks.
Relax. Come back after the all-star break. I don't think so. Jackson 284. Ryan's had a pretty good trip, hitting over 300 coming into today. Although most of his mates have not. He and Cliff Floyd really the only two who have done a good job on this road trip with the bats. In fact, the Marlins 1 through 4 hitters on this trip are hitting a combined 214. Dunwoody at 214, Renteria at 200, Kotze only hitting 143 on the trip, Zeal 207. The Marlins batting 220 on this road trip, and of course they've not won a game yet.
Well, you put those numbers together, and that's why in the last 4 ball games they've only scored 5 runs. So scoring has been a real problem now.
The payoff pitch struck him out. Foul tipped him, and Girardi held it. 7 strikeouts for David Cone.
You know, I know you remember the first interleague matchup with the Yankees last year. It was David Cone pitching in that game. Took a 1-0 shutout into the 9th inning. Came away with a no decision. It was a game the Marlins tied the game on a Moises Alou RBI single.
Cone only allowed 1 hit. Swung on and missed.
And the Marlins won that game in 12 innings, 2-1.
Cone has already given up a hit, but the way it started, striking out the side in the first and the leadoff man in the second, looked like he had no hit stuff. And in fact, he's had no hit stuff today, although he's given up a single.
He still does.
Yeah, believe me, this is devastating thus far. He's trying to finish off lead strikes for the second time. Fly to dead away center, but Williams will range over a bit toward right and end the inning. Another fast frame. Cone has thrown very few pitches. We've got a local break coming your way. In the middle of the 5th, it's 3-0 Yankees.
I'm Roy Hobbs, your new right fielder.
Robert Redford is making a major league comeback.
Well, you don't start playing ball at your age, you retire.
Fighting against a tragic past and a scandalous affair.
Let them believe what they want to believe.
Sacrificing everything to be champion.
He said that if you played Monday, he could kill you.
All I've got left.
Kim Basinger, Robert Duvall, and Glenn Close in the sports epic, The Natural.
Today at 5 on UPN 33.
Healthcare isn't just about doctors and patients. It's about the tools that doctors and patients need.
Before he or she can begin to help her or him or them, they gotta have this, and this, and this, and this.
At Siemens, we make the tools that diagnose, that monitor, that treat, that help doctors help people all over the world.
So for this, or this.
We're Siemens.
We can do that.
Well, the Fuller family has eaten its way across the South, and now we're heading home, with enough stories and recipes to fill a dozen cookbooks. We discovered Joe Pfeiffer's clam chowder, Jamie Morrow's amazing pot roast. We even rediscovered plain old chicken soup and a few other simple pleasures. Everywhere people opened their hearts to us, and that alone made the trip worthwhile. Bye-bye.
Solo home runs by the Yankees have been the story. O'Neill, Martinez, and Williams. And David Cone has faced 16 batters. He has struck out 7. He has thrown 59 pitches. How many strikes?
Well, in the 40s. And also look at this. Of his outs, the 7 strikeouts, the other outs have been in the air. Fly balls or pop flies. So he's yet to induce a ground ball out. So that tells you he's not a sinker ball type pitcher. He's utilizing a good fastball up in the zone.
Yeah, an exploding fastball. He's throwing it up. And it's been terrific for him today. Light rain now falling in New York as Paul O'Neill leads off. O'Neill with a solo blast and a strikeout today. He has hit safely in 15 in a row. And he and Williams in particular have had a red-hot homestand. The Yankees have faced the Red Sox, White Sox, Tampa Bay, and now the Marlins. This homestand, winning 6 straight. The Marlins have lost 10 in a row for the second time this year. Brian Dempster, the youngster out of Canada. He came to the Marlins in a John Burkett deal by way of the Texas Rangers. And despite the home run ball today, he has not pitched a real bad game. He's hung in there. He's had a couple of double plays turned to help him out. Here he walks another man, though, and that has been his bugaboo along with the homers. And in combination, they were deadly at Wrigley Field. When did walk a man give up a 2-run homer, or walk a man give up a 2-run homer?
And I think of all the young pitchers, Brian Dempster probably the least experienced. I mean, last year he was pitching in Brevard County. He hasn't even had a full year at the AA level.
The umbrella's unfurled here as Tino Martinez stands in. A walk and a homer for him today. Dempster has walked 5 men, but he has not walked anybody right in front of a home run today. He just walked O'Neill, though. He gets the strike, and it's 1-1.
I was just thinking something as Darrensburg and Al Fonseca warm up. Umbrellas in New York, as soon as it starts raining, it's one place you can find a guy selling umbrellas on the streets in like 2 minutes.
Yeah, they might dissolve, you know, they might come apart like paper. Like papier-mâché, but...
Well, because they also know that when it starts raining, you can't get a cab, so you need an umbrella.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a moral certainty in the city of New York. As is, Tommy, every time you get in one of those cabs, that light is on. Service engine soon. I've never been in a cab in New York that didn't have that light on. Every one of them. There are only about 8 million cabs.
That's because I'm not so sure the guys driving the cabs can read that either, so that's a whole nother story.
Oh, you got off a good line the other day. You said, yeah, but where it really gets dangerous is in hilly San Francisco. Every cab you get into, it says the brake light.
Yeah.
Service your brakes.
Service brakes in San Francisco, not a good sign.
The runner goes. The throw is low. Not a good throw by Zahn. A better throw probably gets him. But O'Neill comes up with the stolen base. His first of the game.
You know, Paul O'Neill doesn't steal a lot of bases, but he picks his spots. He's 7 for 7 in that department. Little bit of trouble getting it out of the mitt, and O'Neill sneaks in ahead of the throw. But again, you talk about the Yankees throughout their lineup. They have a number of guys who can pick up a steal every once in a while.
Bounded to the right side. This will advance O'Neill. Martinez retired 4-3. O'Neill to third base. So you're absolutely right. Derek Jeter is probably the best at it. He's attempted 15 steals. He's been successful 14 times. Darryl Strawberry this season has stolen a bunch of bases. He has stolen 6. That's high for him. He's only been caught a couple of times. Chad Curtis has stolen 9. He's only been caught 2 times. So they all pick their spots.
How about that bit of hitting by a guy who had over 40 home runs last year, Tino Martinez, giving himself up, pulling the ball to get O'Neill over to third base for Bernie Williams.
That's one of the reasons they have the best record in baseball. The infield in. And ball 1 on Bernie, who has walked and homered. So he's homered twice in as many days against the Marlins. His shot yesterday was the game winner, a 3-run homer. He's now hit safely in 9 in a row. He's had a tremendous homestand for the Yankees. And after a cold month of April, he did not homer in April. He busted loose in May, and he's still cooking in June. He's batting .485 on this homestand for the Yanks. 1 ball, 1 strike on him. It's a 3-0 New York lead as they go for the sweep. The Marlins already on this trip have been swept in Milwaukee and Chicago. O'Neill at third base. With 1 away, a fly ball will get him in. Check swing. He did not offer. It's 2-1.
It's a tough pitch to not swing at. You see Bernie flicking his wrist a little bit because sometimes you check that swing and you feel it in that lead wrist.
The 2-1 home. In there. 2-2.
Boy, the difference in that fastball and the one that Bernie hit out in the 3rd inning. That one started off the plate, moved on to the corner. The one that Ryan Dempster threw in the 3rd started on the corner, then moved back over the center of the plate.
Fouled away, still 2-2. But the Marlins, Rich Doobie spoke about this before the game, what they really want to encourage Dempster to do once he gets comfortable enough is to use his changeup more.
And that we haven't seen a lot of today.
Not too much at all. He's had the slider at times, the fastball at other times, but not many off-speed pitches. So when you know everything's going to be hard, you can wait for it. That one popped up, but Cliff Floyd will not have a play. It'll drop into the front row.
Well, I think a perfect example of that was Joe Fontenot the other day. We had seen him struggle a little bit, but the other day against the Yankees, he kind of put all his 3 pitches together, and we saw a lot more changeups.
But he spoke of exactly the same thing that you've talked about, Rich Doobie has talked about. Kevin Millar there, who's trying to get himself ready to return. And that is, they have to be more comfortable. They have to be comfortable in believing in themselves and knowing they belong out there. And Fontenot is really starting to get there. I think that start the other night did a tremendous amount of good for him. Tapped to first. That'll hold the runner. Lee with a backhand stab, and O'Neill goes nowhere. There are 2 down.
A big out right there. Some nice pitches to a tough hitter.
So Dempster learning little by little, taking baby steps. Only 21 years old. Joe Fontenot with a tremendous effort the other night, and the man at the plate, Darryl Strawberry, was raving about him later. He said, you can tell he's going to be a real good pitcher. They really liked his poise and his makeup, so a lot of respect in the Yankee dugout for this guy, Joe Fontenot.
And you know what? That's nice for a young pitcher to, maybe if he didn't read it, have someone come up and tell him that Strawberry was quoted as saying that about him.
Outside, a count 2-0 on Strawberry, who is 0 for 1 with the walk. And Joe Torre and Don Zimmer were raving about Fontenot's performance, too. They told Jim Leland that was one of the best efforts by a right-hander against the Yankees all season. Got on and missed. 2-1. The Yankees said, we felt like we were handled by the youngster. There's Zim celebrating 50 years in professional baseball this season.
Look at that. You're on the DL.
Hit by pitch.
Derek Jeter sitting next to Don Zimmer.
Well, the umpire is telling Strawberry to take his base, that he has been hit by the pitch. Had an idea that Darryl knew that. It nipped him, but he will saunter off to first base.
I think Darryl wanted a chance to pick up that run himself. He had to have felt this. It nicked him on that front shin. But I think maybe he was thinking that the home plate umpire, Tim Welke, didn't see it. Got a piece of Greg Zahn, too.
So runners at first and third, 2 down. The hitter will be Chad Curtis. The bullpen is quiet right now. Dempster trying to get out of this mini jam. Curtis is 0 for 2. He has struck out and grounded to third. And he, like a lot of the Yankee players, kind of a get your uniform dirty style of ball player. Ripped and fair inside third. That will drive in O'Neill. It bounces to the corner and dives out there. Strawberry is into third and holding up. And Chad Curtis has an RBI double. His 29th RBI of the year. And the Yankees now ahead 4-0.
Yeah, you get through some of those tough lefties, you sometimes forget about the damage that Chad Curtis can do. Looked like he set himself and got this fastball and turned on it. It moved in, and he was ready for it. You could tell by that swing he was looking for it all the way. And Cliff Floyd is expecting this ball to bounce out to him, and it kind of sticks underneath the fence. Doesn't really have a bearing on the play, but that's how tricky it can be in the left field and right field corners here at the stadium.
So Curtis with a double that knocks out Dempster. And Al Fonseca will be brought in to pitch. It's time for the call to the bullpen with Bell South, and we'll be back right after this.
I'm Roy Hobbs, your new right fielder.
Robert Redford is making a major league comeback.
Fella, you don't start playing ball at your age, you retire.
Fighting against a tragic past and a scandalous affair.
Let them believe what they want to believe.
Sacrificing everything to be champion.
He said that if you played Monday, he could kill you.
All I've got left.
Kim Basinger, Robert Duvall, and Glenn Close in the sports epic, The Natural.
Today at 5 on UPN 33.
A struggling playwright makes a deal with the mob.
I wrote this play. You want to get slapped here?
Now Broadway Hit takes on a whole new meaning. John Cusack, Tracy Ullman, Jennifer Tilly, Diane Wiest, Chaz Palminteri. In a comedy too funny for words.
Don't speak. Don't speak. No, don't speak.
Nominated for 7 Academy Awards. Woody Allen's Bullets Over Broadway.
Tonight at 8 on UPN 33.
On the next Sentinel.
An inmate was murdered at Starkville facility. The authorities there are trying to cover it up. I'm going to go inside as a prisoner.
The Sentinel is about to take on an entire prison.
He doesn't leave the yard alive.
One inmate at a time.
The policeman's life is at stake. Yeah, you're dead.
Get ready for the ultimate fight for survival. The Sentinel. 5 heightened senses, 1 super cop.
Wednesday at 8 on UPN 33.
The right-hander Antonio Alfonseca relieves Ryan Dempster here in the 5th inning. 0-2 in ERA at 5.40. More hits than innings pitched. He's walked 8 men in the 20 frames, and now he'll face Scott Brocious with Yankees at 2nd and 3rd. 2 down and a run in. New York ahead 4-0. Brocious did not make it out, hitting against Dempster 2 for 2. Each hit a single. Alfonseca ahead here, 0-1.
And I think Antonio got the hint the other day when he was late in getting over to cover first base. It was a tough play. I thought Derek Lee was going to make the play, but Antonio kind of got caught in between, and certainly heard a little bit about that from his manager, Jim Leland.
Yeah, more than a little.
And that was the last time he pitched in the game in Milwaukee.
So you can say he's been iced a little bit, in a manner of speaking, but Alfonseca in here at Yankee Stadium, and he gets ahead quickly. The 0-2 to Brocious. Into the dirt. Nice save by Zahn. Ryan Dempster on the wild side today. 4 2/3. He does surrender the solo home runs, 3 of them. So far he's given up 4 runs. The runners on belong to him. And they will not score. A swing and a miss, strike 3. A good effort by Alfonseca, but a run in for the Yankees. And after 5 innings in the stadium, it's 4-0 New York.
It's no surprise that kids are catching on to the net.
Hello, Brian. How is your science project?
Or that a company would volunteer to connect schools and develop a resource that helps them discover their world.
I'm starting to love volcanoes.
What may be news is who created this education gateway. It wasn't who you might expect. It was Bell South.
Back to work, Romeo.
From big business to education, we put you at the head of the class.
Come on, let's go faster, faster. He's really driving us. He's killing us. I'm pulling away from you. It helps, though. I don't think I could do it on my own. I know. This is the longest I've ever stuck with a workout program. Well, they say motivation is the key. You can do it. Come on, you bunch of lost brothers. I don't see any sweat.
No wonder you can never get a bike around here.
This is what you're working for.
Every day I have to make a living. And probably like you, I have to budget my money and live within my means. So when I buy something, I want my money's worth. And if I'm treated fairly, I'll go back to that place again. You know, building a relationship like that is the secret to good business.
Present the True Value 4 for $34. You get 4 mezzanine reserve tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 Cokes, 4 bags of peanuts, and a Marlins game program for only $34. Call 930-HITS today.
Of course, you can utilize that at any of the games. Of course, Roger Clemens tomorrow night against Brian Meadows. Good matchup with the Toronto Blue Jays in town, along with Jose Canseco. Youngsters, Sean Green, good-looking young player, Alex Gonzalez at shortstop. They've got some good players. They've struggled a little bit lately, but Toronto playing pretty good ball lately.
Here, 4-0 Yankees. Of their 6 hits, 3 have been solo home runs. Greg Zahn has the only hit for the Marlins today. So really, almost regardless of what Ryan Dempster did out there, it would have been uphill all afternoon against David Cone. Through 5 innings, he has struck out 7, given up 1 hit. He hasn't walked anybody, and he has completely shut down the Marlin offense, which has not been very offensive, at least not offensive-minded. Not today, and certainly not since the major trade. This is a Marlin team that simply will not bring up a lot of home runs or a lot of long flies to begin with. The Marlins are 3-15 since that trade, and of course that doesn't shock anybody. That was expected. Little fisted pop-up back at third, but that one will drift off into the stands.
Well, this has been a place where David Cone has always pitched extremely well. Lifetime at Yankee Stadium, he's 20-5. As a Yankee, pitching here at Yankee Stadium, he's 19-3.
7-1 for the season, but with a high earned run average for him, 559.
All coming from those first 2 games he pitched this year. Back door right there.
Beautiful pitch to nails onto the plate. A strikeout for David Cone.
Boy, David Cone has not walked a batter. He's thrown various pitches, but look how he comes into the back door with this breaking ball right to the target of Joe Girardi. This is one of those. Greg Zahn wants that call when he's catching, but doesn't want that call when he's hitting.
He may have been reminding Tim Welke exactly that, hey, I want my guy to get that pitch too. It appeared to be off the corner. Greg Counsell, the hitter, 0 for 1. He's popped out to second base. And again, to restate what Tommy said last inning, there has not been a ground ball out by a Marlin hitter through 5 1/3. Strikeouts or flyouts. And here we go. Shot right to Soho. That's the first one of the game. 6-3.
Cone's starting to get tired.
Yeah, he looks exhausted, doesn't he? He's coming apart.
He's getting some sink on that fastball. Yeah. I mentioned those first 2 games though he pitched this year, and they were both against Oakland. One in Oakland and one here at Yankee Stadium. And in his first 2 outings this year, he pitched a total of 9 2/3 innings, but he gave up 16 earned runs. So that's why that ERA a little higher than it would be.
Of the 3 Yankee pitchers who have 7 wins or more, that's Wells, Pettit, and Cone. He's got the highest earned run average among them. But maybe if you look at his last 10 starts, he's got the lowest earned run average among them over that span. He's beaten the Red Sox a couple of times, in fact, back-to-back, so the Yankee fans are certainly thrilled by that. He beat them in his last start over 7 innings. He allowed 4 hits. And here, looks like he hits Dunwoody, got him on the foot. So Dunwoody will take his base on a breaking ball that bit Todd on the toes.
Well, he's also, David Cone had 1 7-inning performance, and that was his last time out, and that was the longest inning of the season, or longest outing of the season for him, 7 innings. This pitch just gets away, and looks like it got somewhere on that ankle area more than the foot. That one hurt.
So Dunwoody on at first base. The Marlins with just the 2nd base runner of the afternoon. Renteria hitting. I would imagine Cone has similar stuff today than he did a couple of years ago when he came back from the aneurysm. And he went 7 no-hit innings and came out of the game. And that sparked a very interesting debate around baseball as Edgar knocks a foul. It's 1-1. When a guy, even if he's coming off a long absence or a long stint on the DL, as he did, if he's throwing a no-hitter after 7 innings, don't you run him back out there for the at least until he loses the no-hitter? Or do you be very cautious with him, as the Yankees and Joe Torre were, and keep him inside the dugout and don't risk a further injury, don't risk him going back on the DL in his first start?
Well, I think that's what you have to do. You have to take him out. If you think short term in 1 game, yeah, maybe leave him in, but all of a sudden he's pitching here in 1998, maybe because of that. Yep. Maybe because he came out after 7 innings.
And David Cone had absolutely no disagreement with that strategy. He felt coming out was the best thing for the Yankees, and it was the smart decision.
I think it's remarkable that he's made the comeback to continue pitching.
Dunwoody runs. The pitch swung on and missed. The throw is into center field and gets away from non-blockers backing up. And into third base is Todd Dunwoody. So that'll be a steal and an error. The error charged to Joe Girardi. So the Marlins have a runner down to third for the first time.
Todd picks up his first steal this year. Maybe a little bit of a surprise, but the throw not a good one by Girardi. And once Todd saw it get away into shallow center, that's when he headed over to third base. Like Soho may have been a little late in getting over there to cover, too.
The pitch to Edgar is knocked foul. There are 2 down in the inning, and the count 2-2. Edgar's average has taken a pretty good hit on this road trip, but so is just about everyone else's. Dunwoody hoping to score here and get the Marlins on the board. That's outside. Tim Wilkie, the home plate ump, was at a very fair strike zone, would not give him the call.
See, to the left-handers, he tries to come in through the back door with that breaking ball. To the right-hander, he tries to back up that fastball on the outside corner.
Edgar knocks that one along first, but foul. Just lunging after it, trying to stay alive up there and make some contact. 3-2. Marcotte next. If we get that far, as he checks out the skies, and every once in a while a little light rain, nothing heavy, at least not yet. We've had no delays. The payoff pitch outside. He went for the outside corner, trying to paint the black edge of the plate, but he didn't have enough brush. He wanted that call.
Nice patience too by Edgar to lay off of the pitch and not swing at it because it was down. Clearly a ball, a good eye by Edgar Renteria, and it brings out Mel Stottlemyre, Yankees pitching coach.
You know, we're talking about delays and a possible rain delay maybe in the schedule today. Yesterday, if you weren't with us, we actually had about a 4 or 5 minute delay in the middle of the game so that on the big stadium scoreboard in center field they could show the running of the Belmont Stakes, and they showed the race, and we stopped right in the middle of the game just to see that race, which the Yankees play for the fans here, and most of us have never seen anything quite like that. The game being delayed by something other than the elements.
Well, which I thought was absolutely absurd, but George Steinbrenner said if anybody wanted to blame anyone, he gave it the go-ahead, and he could blame him.
I guess in George's world, the horses are more important than what his baseball team is doing on the field. That may be the message that he's giving people. I agree with you, Tommy. I think that's pretty silly, and I think if you talk to the players who were on the field at the time in both clubhouses, I know this is true in the Marlin clubhouse, they felt it was very confusing and a ridiculous thing to do, to stop a game to show the horse. By the way, it was on tape, George.
Even George Steinbrenner's pitcher, Ramiro Mendoza, said that he lost a little of his rhythm. He likes to work quickly, and all of a sudden he had to stand out there and wait as that race went on. And we found out later, you're right, it was on tape.
Yeah, it wasn't even live. Outside, 2-1. But what would have happened had Mendoza really been affected, had he completely lost, let's say he gave up a couple of 2-run homers, and the Yankees lose that game because his concentration was disrupted? First and third, 2 down. Gatsé chasing a ball outside, but it didn't start that way. That one really darted. 2-2. Dunwoody, the runner, at third. Edgar Renteria at first.
Well, I know Marcotte, along with many others, totally surprised too of the outcome of the College World Series. USC defeating Arizona State 21-14. Final score.
Breaking ball, little bloop. That'll be caught by Brocious in fair territory for round number 3. A local break coming up now. The Marlins leaving 2 men on base. Their best chance to score today. We go to the bottom of the 6th. 4-0 Yankees.
What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? What up?
Weeknights at 7 and 11 on UPN 33.
Fitting in, schmitting in. The new RAV4. It's not for everyone, only you.
Join the Florida Marlins. The 1998 Coca-Cola Marlins Kids Club wants you. Join today and get a membership card, a team photo, Marlins merchandise including a Kids Club cap, dog tag, and a lot more great surprises. Don't wait. Join the team now. The the Florida Marlins Kids Club. Pick up your application at Pro Player Stadium or call 305-626-7293 today. That's 305-626-7293. Florida Marlins Baseball. Catch a live one.
Interleague play continues as Cliff Floyd looks to shoot down the Bluebirds. The Florida Marlins take on the Toronto Blue Jays Tuesday night at 7 on UPN 33.
One of baseball's best managers and nicest people, Joe Torre. His Yankees have a 4-0 lead over the Florida Marlins, and they've done it mainly on the strength of home runs in the first inning. O'Neill goes yard.
Yeah, and in case you missed it, here's Paul O'Neill in the first inning after a double play. So 2 are out. So it was a big double play to empty the bases. So it was a solo shot by O'Neill. And then back-to-back jobs in the third after consecutive strikeouts of Ryan Dempster. Fastball out over the plate to Martinez. And a fastball down and out over the plate to Bernie Williams.
That one reaching the black bleachers. Only the 16th time it's ever been done at Yankee Stadium since the ballpark was remodeled. Now back live, Girardi just did a little tapper to Counsell at second base. He picked it up and threw him out, so one man is gone in the 6th.
Next time we're going to talk to Joe Girardi and tell him to take a pitch or two when we edit those home runs together.
Don't you think you should?
Yeah.
I mean, let him know we've got a couple of highlights we want to show, and you just relax, Joe. You're ahead 4-0. Knobloch in this one has been hit by a pitch. He's drawn a walk. He also grounded out. They count on him 1-1. 1 down, bases empty. The Yankees with 6 hits. The Marlins with only 1 off of David Cone, who's been brilliant.
This is another one of those situations where the DH affects how you use your pitchers. And I'm talking about Antonio Alfonseca out there right now. When he came in the game last inning, he got a quick out, so he just pitched the third of the inning. But the bottom part of the order was up. In an Ashley game, his spot would have probably batted, so Jim would have had to make a move, or maybe make a double switch, or maybe have brought in another pitcher thinking he was only going to get a third of an inning out of him. So you really have to think in 3 different ways as opposed to this way. You just bring him in and let him go.
Knobloch flies this one to left center. Dunwoody looking up into a light rain. It's the second out. So 2 away with Soho coming up. Dell really has cooled off since we started off today. Temperatures into the 60s, a little bit of a breeze blowing out toward right. And lots of clouds overhead. The folks bundling up against the rain. We've seen a lot of umbrellas this afternoon. And that after a day yesterday that could not have been more spectacular. About 72 degrees, low humidity, lots of sun. It was gorgeous. Chopped towards second base, but Renteria charges and gets it. Alfonseca sets them down in order, and Joe Angel comes your way next. That's the end of 6 at Yankee Stadium. Local break time. 4-0, New York in the lead.
Looking for an active guy? Kind of looks like this.
Look for Active Guy. He's only at Subway, next to our 7 sandwiches with 6 grams of fat or less. And for something new, try our Chicken Caesar Sub. Tender, all-white chicken with a great-tasting Caesar dressing. For a limited time, only at Subway, the way a sandwich should be.
Nissan has $100 that says you're going to like our cars and trucks better than Honda and Toyota. The Nissan $100 Challenge. Just test drive any new 98 Nissan between now and July 6th. Then if you still buy or lease a new 98 Honda or Toyota car or truck, within 30 days, you get $100. So, are you ready for the challenge? Better yet, our Honda and Toyota. The Nissan $100 Challenge. Nissan must receive validated test drive form with required documentation by 8/31/98. Significant restrictions apply.
Every year, over 70,000 motorists are robbed at gunpoint.
Can I help you?
Don't let it happen to you. Tire Kingdom, the lowest prices on the street.
Well, the Fuller family has eaten its way across the South, and now we're heading home, with enough stories and recipes to fill a dozen cookbooks. We discovered Joe Pfeiffer's clam chowder, Jamie Morrow's amazing pot roast. We even rediscovered plain old chicken soup and a few other simple pleasures. Everywhere people opened their hearts to us, and that alone made the trip worthwhile. Bye-bye.
Right back here at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. As we go to work now, top of the 7th inning. And hello again, baseball fans. Joe Angel with Tommy Hutton. Boy, Tommy, I don't know. I mean, it's New York. It's dark. It's overcast. It's cold. It's not exactly good baseball weather here.
Well, Joe, enjoy it, because I know when we get off the plane in Fort Lauderdale tonight, we'll have a little bit of a shock with the temperatures in South Florida.
But that sounds good to me, though. We're going home after this one. I like that. Well, it's been all David Cone here today. He's given up only 1 hit. Marlins have had only 3 base runners. Cone with 8 strikeouts along the way. And now he is 1-1 to Todd Zeile. Of course, you can see some rain coming down here at Yankee Stadium. It's done that several times here so far today. And now 2 strikes on Zeile. Not only is it raining at Yankee Stadium, and all of a sudden it's become even more blustery here. And David Cone picks up his 9th strikeout. And now before Floyd comes up to hit, got a wonderful idea for you. Why don't we check out the Ford trivia question? Hall of Famer Red Ruffing is the all-time leader in victories at what stadium? Red Ruffing.
Be too obvious to say Yankee Stadium, but why not?
You're going to say Yankee Stadium?
Yeah.
You're going to fall for that bait? All right. I don't know the answer, but I'm not going to say Yankee Stadium.
I know why it's getting a little cooler too, because 6 of the 9 whiffs have been swinging.
Well, just touched that one, and so the count 0-2 now to Floyd.
At this stage of his career, they try to keep David Cone around 100 pitches, maybe a little bit more. The most he's thrown this year was 113, and that was just in a 5 2/3 innings outing.
Well, his longest outing was against the Boston Red Sox. A little pop-up, and there's Brocious. Makes a foul ball catch. That was in his last start against Boston. He went 7 innings, and that's been his longest outing so far.
Well, they're starting to get Mike Stanton, the veteran left-hander, in their bullpen busy right now. So you would have to think that maybe they're going to really be cautious with David Cone here in the early stages, 1/3 part of the season, to maybe not let him go for the shutout.
And strike 1 to Jackson. He's 0 for 2, flied to center and struck out.
That was a look at that splitter. Thrown a few of those today, but not a whole lot.
And now it is 1-1 to Ryan Jackson. Well, on the scoreboard, Andres Galarraga hit a home run today, Tommy, for the Atlanta Braves. He's got 22 now. Jackson waves at that one.
Boy, look at the whiffs. They pick up on things in a hurry here in New York, don't they? David Cone missing that start because of the dog bite on his index finger of his pitching hand.
Oh, he got the breaking ball. And David Cone is now in double digits in that strikeout column. He's got 10. Well, the dog bit him. But today, David Cone has bitten back. He gets him 1, 2, 3 in the 7th.
Hans and Elke Yeager had just moved in next door.
Yes, sir.
So I thought I'd stop by and introduce myself.
So, how's it going?
Couldn't help but notice they didn't speak much English, and that they were probably going to need some help setting up their phone service. Of course, as the resident phone guy, I knew Bill South spoke several languages,
Hello?
including German. So I put Hans on the line while I continued to visit with his family.
Never mind.
Hi, I'm Carmen Electra, here to explain Bud Rewards. Look for Bud points in packages of Budweiser, Bud Light, Bud Ice, and O'Doul's. Save them with friends and redeem them for great prizes, like dartboards, refrigerators, even a foosball table. And that's Bud Rewards. Any questions?
Could you repeat the part after, "Hi, I'm Carmen Electra"?
Bud Rewards. Get the points, get the gear.
Maybe you can give me a private lesson.
Yeah, I need to be tutored, too.
Santiago, Montevideo, Rio de Janeiro.
In 36 cities,
Guadalajara, Sao Paulo,
throughout 18 countries,
Buenos Aires, Guayaquil,
across Mexico, Central and South America,
Mexico City, Santa Cruz.
with over 100 flights a day, no other airline in the world brings you the promise of Latin America like we do.
Caracas, Belo Horizonte.
Well, the middle of the order now for the Yankees here in the bottom of the 7th inning, and Jim Leland is again going to the bullpen here. Job well done by Antonio Alfonseca. And now, Tommy, we get a look at the left-hander, Vic Derensburg.
Well, with the string of lefties due up, except for the interruption of Bernie Williams, a switch hitter, Vic Derensburg on to try to use that fastball and slider. And what a performance by David Cone to this point. 10 strikeouts. Throwing the ball well, and as I was just thinking between innings, I think, Joe, he's got some real nice break on that backdoor breaking ball that we've seen a lot of. I think instead of pine tar, he's using puppy chow. A good grip. It's working for him. Whatever works.
Well, he was bitten on his right index finger by that dog. But, hey, he's going to come back and pitch like this every time he gets bitten by a dog. He might want to make that a habit. Be a painful habit. 10 strikeouts in 7 innings. He gives up only 1 single to Greg Zahn. He had a hit batsman, he had a base on balls, and those were the only 3 Marlin base runners. Now, Paul O'Neill has already extended his hitting streak to 15 consecutive games, and he did so with a bases empty home run back in the first. Gave the Yankees a 1-0 lead. They now lead it 4-0. Also had a walk in this game, so he has scored a couple of runs. Now you look at this situation, Tommy, and right now the Yankees ahead 4-0. You got the Blue Jays coming into the ballpark tomorrow night at Pro Player Stadium, and with people like Roger Clemens and Woody Williams and Pat Hinkin, that's some awfully good pitching they're about to face.
Yeah, a couple of Cy Young Award winners in Clemens and then Henkin, and Woody Williams, a right-hander who's kind of unknown but has a 7-2 record. Actually has a better record right now than Clemens and Henkin.
And of course, the Mets will be coming into town next weekend. That's always fun to watch.
Yeah, by then Piazza will be healthy.
That's right. And hey, if you look at the pitching matchups, it's quite a possibility that when the Mets do get to town, the Marlins might be on a 14-game losing streak. If you look ahead like that, obviously you'd see that happen, but it's a distinct possibility.
Yeah, I don't know exactly when Hideo Nomo is going to pitch. Marlins may see him in that weekend series too.
So come on down. By the way, Friday's game against the Mets, that's going to be kids opening night at the ballpark, and kids can buy any seat in the house for only $1. And there's a $1 hit. A little dribbler. O'Neill will take it.
You can get those for 50 cents, I think. Well, once Todd Zeile knew he had no chance to throw out Paul O'Neill, that's why Todd just let it go, hoping that maybe it would hit a pebble. If it gets on the dirt, it might trickle into foul territory, but he had no chance once he decided to pick it up.
Now here's Tino Martinez. Yankees ahead 4-0. So let's see, on Friday, that's going to be kids opening night. Kids get in for $1, and that's it. Anywhere. There's the call strike. Saturday at Pro Player Stadium is going to be World Championship Cap Day at the ballpark. And then on Sunday against the Mets is World Champions Banner Day. So lots of good stuff coming up at Pro Player Stadium. And now Martinez takes inside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, you think about it, Joe, with a lot of New Yorkers in South Florida, it's been a big couple of weeks with this series at Yankee Stadium. Next week, the Mets are in town, and then the next weekend, the Marlins are at Shea Stadium.
We will be right back at the Grand Hyatt Hotel. A fly ball to left, but there's Floyd. In fact, Tommy, the runner now trying to advance to second base, and he is tagged out. Paul O'Neill tried to get to second base. He tried to catch Floyd sleeping, but he was not napping.
Well, that's good. Both Cliff Floyd and Craig Counsell not napping and staying awake, and you like to see that under these circumstances. So Cliff has it. Comes up right there. May have been caught a little bit, but he made a good throw. And Paul O'Neill just thinking, well, if I can catch him flat-footed, if the throw's offline, I can get myself in scoring position.
Yeah, but I think you're right, Tommy. I mean, he was not in a throwing position when he caught the ball, but he recovered and made the play. Now, the weekend at Bernie's continues. He's had a walk, he's had a home run, and he has gone 1 for 2. Had that big home run yesterday, too. The Yankees ahead 4-0. Right field, Kotze. And Derensburg faces only 3 men. In the Bronx here at Yankee Stadium, we're going to take a local break now as we head to the 8th. Yankees up 4-0.
Never before, maybe never again, will you find a deal like this. Right now, get the '98 Ford Explorer Sport for just $19,995. That's right, $19,995, loaded with features. Or lease the real sport utility for only $279 a month. And for the first time ever, there are factory-to-dealer incentives that save you even more. So get to your South Florida Ford dealer today and let them prove you can't afford not to drive a Ford.
Ship your package in 2 days with FedEx. And you'll run into 7 different price zones.
Ship your package in 2 days with UPS. And you'll run into 7 different price zones.
Ship your package in 2 to 3 days with Priority Mail. And there's just 1 price zone.
So, what's your priority? Priority Mail from the U.S. Postal Service.
Advertising, this is...
Hi, we're wondering if we could speak to Mr.
Hello?
Is this
Yes.
Hi, this is Jared, and I'm here with my friend Joshua. And we have a message for you. We just wanted to congratulate you on being such a successful tobacco advertising company. Hello? Hello?
Sir? Should we call him back?
Sure.
Marlin Baseball, the Marlin Television Network, is being brought to you in part by Gatorade Thirst Quencher. You don't have to live thirsty. Life is a sport. So drink it up. By AutoNation USA, we make it easy to buy a car. And by El Dorado Furniture, a family working for your family. Here's Derek Lee against David Cohn, who delivers a call strike. Well, there he is, David Cohn. He struck out 10. He has given up only 1 hit. Marlins have had only 3 base runners in this one, and now he's 0-2 to Derek Lee.
You know, we've seen a lot of good fastballs, a lot of breaking balls, occasionally a changeup or a splitter. And I was talking between innings with Tommy John, who's a longtime major leaguer working on the telecast with Bobby Mercer for the Yankees. This strikeout number 11. He was telling me that Cohn told him because of that dog bite, he hasn't thrown many splitters at all. Hardly, maybe 1 or 2, because it affects him a little bit. It's actually made him really work today and pitch. Tommy John won over 250 games. He knows a little bit about pitching.
Well, he's 11 strikeouts now for David Cohn. He'll go to work on Greg Zahn. Yankees ahead here 4-0. Well, you look at the scorecard here today, Tommy, and you pointed out the fact that there's been only 1 ground out against David Cohn the entire game, and that came off the bat of Craig Counsell. He's had the 11 strikeouts. He's had about 4 or 5 fly ball outs, and right now has himself a 4-0 lead. Well, check swing, foul tap.
I'll tell you another thing that's worth keeping your eye on. We mentioned that Cone is 35-11 as a Yankee, but he's never pitched a shutout as a New York Yankee. His last shutout came in 1995. He pitched 2 that year when he was pitching for the Blue Jays.
And a breaking ball got him looking, and that's strikeout number 12. Boy, he got the good bender at the knees. Greg Zahn has struck out looking for the second time today.
Hey, we know one thing for sure. David Cone has that key to the back door. He's been in there all afternoon. One hit, 12 Ks. Well, the only walk came in the 6th inning. Only time the Marlins had 2 runners on base.
Now, that one hit he gave up, by the way, was no doubt about it hit. It was a clean single hit by Greg Zahn back in inning number 3.
And I think you mentioned, Joe, at the very beginning of the game that Cone has never pitched a no-hitter, but he's had 3 one-hitters.
Yep, he's had 3 of them. And he also had a game in October of 1991 against Philadelphia in which he picked up a career high of 19 strikeouts in a game. He's got 12 here in the 8th inning. So he's not going to come close to that. And, of course, in order for David Cone to go ahead and throw a shutout, Tommy, he's got to be given the chance to throw a shutout. He has not had a lot of complete games. A lot of injuries. Well, he's 2-1 here, and now 3-1 to Counsell.
Well, you're exactly right. He got traded to the Yankees in '95 after he pitched a couple of those shutouts with the Blue Jays. And as a Yankee, he's only pitched 2 complete games.
Now 3-1 to Counsell. Now 3-2 on a foul ball. Well, you know what the crowd here at Yankee Stadium is looking for right now? They're looking for another K. After the game, David Cone is going to go shopping at Kmart. He's got 12 of them right now. And the fans are looking for number 13. But he walked them. So the Marlins have their 4th base runner, and now the top of the order comes up in Dunwoody.
He's going to go shopping at Kmart and buy his mother's dog anything that it wants.
Yeah, he's getting K rations today. Now the right-hander is Nelson. The left-hander is Mike Stanton in the Yankee bullpen. Dunwoody, and this game is 0 for 2. He's been hit by a pitch. He's become a strikeout victim his first time up. He also stolen a base. His first of the year. That one just a tad high. 4-0 Yankees. We're in the top of the 8th inning. Joe Angel with Tommy Hutton will be coming home after this one. We'll take on the Blue Jays at Pro Player Stadium tomorrow night. There's a drive hit to center. Bernie backing up, backing up, backing up. It's off the wall. And that's going to cost David Cone the shutout. Here's Counsell racing in to score. He got the walk. And it is now a 4-1 ball game on the Dunwoody double.
Boy, Todd Dunwoody's hit some balls awfully hard here at Yankee Stadium. Hit the home run yesterday, but he also hit a ball first time up yesterday and drove Bernie Williams to left center. This one, he thinks he might have a chance. Bernie with a little decoy right there. It didn't really matter because 2 men were out and Craig Counsell running all the way.
Now Edgar, a little breaking ball, fouled it away. Edgar's twice struck out. He's also been walked, so he's 0 for 2. Renteria slowed down a bit. He's had only 4 hits now in his last 26 at bats. 4-1 Yankees now. Another breaking ball, and it's strike 2 to El Nino. Now the right-hander sends it to Belt. Delivers to Edgar. Got him looking. And there's number 13. A fastball on the outside corner, but they do get one. And we head to the bottom of the 8th inning in New York. Yankees up by 3.
I like that thing.
It's great for checking email. I've got to get to Chicago.
We're going to L.A.
American Airlines, this is Shannon.
It's funny, you never know where a call is coming from.
Just found out I'm a grandfather.
Oh, congratulations.
Just had a baby.
Or who it's coming from.
I've arranged for an agent to get you to the next...
You kind of have to be ready for anything.
How are they doing?
They're both doing fine, thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Reed, for calling American Airlines.
That's what I like about this job.
Congratulations.
Making friends is our business was a motto that my grandfather created back in the 1950s when he came up with the slogan. Beer is about friendship, about relationships. It's about making friends, going out, meeting new people, and there's not a better beverage to do it with than a Budweiser. There are 500 million beer drinkers in the world, 80 million beer drinkers in the United States, and they must know something.
It's no surprise that kids are catching on to the net.
Hello, Brian. How is your science project?
Or that a company would volunteer to connect schools and develop a resource that helps them discover their world.
I'm starting to love volcanoes.
What may be news is who created this education gateway. It wasn't who you might expect. It was Bell South.
Back to work, Romeo.
From big business to education, we put you at the head of the class.
Back at Yankee Stadium. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. Yankees ahead 4-1. 47,731 in the ballpark here this afternoon. The answer to the Ford trivia question: Yankee Stadium. You were right, Tommy. Again. How do you do it, Tommy? Strawberry takes up and in.
I sit up at night and do a lot of reading on baseball history.
And a swing and a miss by Strawberry, and it's even up at 1-1.
And I guess a lot.
Yes, but they're educated guesses. Now 1-2.
Well, you probably didn't realize it. From 1930 through 1942 is when Red Ruffing pitched here. David Cohn upset that he gave up that one run, had a shot at that shutout. Be curious to see if he comes out to pitch tonight because of that.
And he gets Strawberry looking. So Darensburg picks up the strikeout, and now he'll go to work on Chant Curtis here.
Ben Ruffing went away for a couple of years, came back during two of the war years in 45 and 46, and also pitched for the Yankees.
Well, Jim Leland coming out. He will take the ball from Darensburg, and he will go to the bullpen here with Curtis coming up to hit. Yankees leading the ball game 4-1. They've out hit Florida 7-2. And so we called the bullpen again here with Bell South.
It's no surprise that medical technology is going places it never has.
Thanks for joining us, Doctor.
Or that a communications company is helping bring the world's most innovative treatments to the South.
Do you see the cyst?
You were correct. It's attached to the fornix. What may be surprising is exactly who developed this extensive telemedicine network. It's not AT&T. It's not MCI. It's Bell South.
Thank you, doctor.
Oh, it was a team effort.
From high-tech to healthcare, we're keeping you in tip-top shape.
Budweiser has 12 breweries located across the country. The Budweiser that you get from your local brewery is usually the freshest beer available in the marketplace. Budweiser sells very quickly. The average age of Budweiser on the shelf is about 40 days. Having local breweries ensures that your Budweiser is the freshest possible beer it can be by the time you purchase it.
You've done the math and figured out that you can consolidate bills and still afford to make some home improvements. But the lenders tell you that you don't have enough equity. Hi, I'm Dan Marino. If this has happened to you, call First Plus Financial at 1-800-510-PLUS. They'll lend you up to 125% of the value of your home, less your first mortgage balance. There's no application fees, and you'll get an answer before you hang up. Don't listen to those other lenders. Call First Plus at 1-800-510-PLUS.
United fans making a very special appearance at Monday night's game, the game tomorrow night against the Toronto Blue Jays out there at Pro Player Stadium. will be Bell South Mobility's race car driver, Joe Nemechek. He'll be at Gate G before the game. It'll give you a chance to get your picture taken, watch Joe as he throws out the first pitch. And then you can cheer on Joe as he will challenge Billy the Marlin to what they call a friendly race in the 5th inning. Now, they say it's a friendly race, but we know that Billy takes those races very seriously.
Well, we know that. That'll be a good race to watch. I hope Billy's at home practicing right now.
He's getting gassed. And now Jay Powell will go to work. Tommy, it's been a while since we've seen Jay Powell.
Yeah, the last time Jay was out was at Wrigley Field. And this is important for him. He needs to get work. He's always said he's the kind of pitcher that wants the baseball, and I think it helps him the more work he has.
Yeah, last time we saw him was in the bottom of the 9th inning at Wrigley Field in Chicago when he gave up that game-ending hit to the pinch hitter Jason Hartke. Single that drove in a run. Chicago won that ball game 2-1. See Curtis 1 for 3, a double that drove in a run in the 5th inning. 4-1 Yankees. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. 1 gone, no one out. Tomorrow night, Roger Clemens will be pitching for the Toronto Blue Jays. That's one to watch. Into shallow right center. Kotze will get there. That's out number 2. Atlanta leads Baltimore 7-0 in the 7th inning. Looks like Greg Maddux is about to become a 9-game winner.
I'll tell you what, I mentioned to you when we were talking about Maddux pitching in Baltimore at Camden Yards. It's a hitter-friendly ballpark, but when you have a unfriendly pitcher out there who has the kind of stuff Maddux has, he has a shutout going at Camden Yards. Amazing.
Now Brocious lines it over Renteria. That's a base hit. And now we'll take one more look at Joe Girardi. Bottom of the 8th inning here. Yankees ahead 4-1. Hey, the Cubs lead the White Sox 8-2. That game in the 4th inning. Chicago, the Cubs have beaten the White Sox 2 straight interleague play.
They're looking to sweep that series.
San Francisco trailing St. Louis 5-2 in the 6th inning. And of course, the Giants have won 8 straight. And no, McGuire has not hit a home run today. Not yet. Andres Galarraga did. He got number 22 for the Atlanta Braves in that game in support of Greg Maddux. So even Galarraga right now, Tommy, is ahead of Roger Maris's pace. And so is McGuire. And so is Vinny Castilla. And so is Ken Griffey. He's got 23 now. It's 0-2.
Yeah, I think it would be very interesting come September if 2 or 3 guys are all in the race. It might divert a little attention from Mark McGuire. Not much because of his presence, but all of a sudden if you have 2 or 3 guys with a shot, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, that's always fun to watch.
The guys brought their gloves on bat day. Got a souvenir.
He's got his radio with him, so he's got the ball game on the radio. He's got the glove on his mid-hand. He's got the jacket to stay warm. He's in good company out there. And it is kind of cold in New York here today. Very overcast, very blustery. It rained on occasion throughout the game. Right now, the Yankees in command as they try to come up with their 7th consecutive victory. Runner going, and a swing and a miss to retire the side. So Jay Powell gets a strikeout. We'll take a local break. In the 9th inning, Yankees ahead. It'll be Kotze, Zeal, and Floyd.
Maybe you can buy yourself a mansion or that quaint little house next door. what you can't afford not to drive a Ford.
Right now, get a 98 Ford Mustang, America's legendary pony car, for just $15,200. Yeah, $15,200. Plus, get $1,500 worth of extra features like a CD player, power windows, and alloy wheels at no charge. So get to your South Florida Ford dealer and let them prove
Can't afford not to drive a Ford.
Well, the Fuller family has eaten its way across the South, and now we're heading home, with enough stories and recipes to fill a dozen cookbooks. We discovered Joe Pfeiffer's clam chowder, Jamie Morrow's amazing pot roast. We even rediscovered plain old chicken soup and a few other simple pleasures. Everywhere people opened their hearts to us, and that alone made the trip worthwhile. Bye-bye.
It's the True Value 4 for $34 family pack. All season long, you can get 4 mezzanine reserved seats, 4 hot dogs, 4 Cokes, 4 bags of peanuts, all for $34. A great family value. We'll even throw in a copy of the Marlins magazine. So call 930-HITS today. That's 930-HITS, and ask about the True Value 4 for $34 family pack. A great family value. Marlins baseball. Catch a live one.
Marlin Baseball on the Florida Marlin Television Network is being brought to you in part by Zephyr Hills Natural Spring Water. Pure water from a pure place. And by Publix. Always working hard at putting only the best on your home plate. Well, David Cone is coming out here at Yankee Stadium as we go to work in the top of the 9th inning. Very cloudy, overcast. And yes, K-rations today for David Cone. He's got 13 of them. 13 fish have gone down on strikes.
Yeah, we saw the one set of K's with the little puppies. Now the fish. Very creative here today at Yankee Stadium. 110 pitches Cone has thrown, 76 strikes.
And Katze 0 for 3 with a strikeout and a couple of pop-ups. Now the Yankees may be about to run their record to 44 and 13 if they get the final 3 outs here. Remember, they started 1 and 4, and so if they win here today, they will have gone 43 and 9 in the last 52 games. Wow. Fouled away. Their best start since 1953. They have now gone 22 consecutive series without losing one. David Cone looking for his 8th consecutive victory. And another strikeout. He's got 14 of them now. My goodness.
And how many, Joe, has he picked up on that backdoor breaking pitch?
Third baseman, Todd Zeal.
As a left-handed hitter, you think this ball is going to stay outside. It has enough break to it. Girardi frames it beautifully, and he gets another strikeout.
Well, he's got Greg Zahn on that same breaking ball twice in this game. Well, 14 strikeouts. Now go to work on Todd Zeal, whom he has struck out twice. Plays off the breaking ball. Todd Zeal, who was the only Marlin to have batted against David Cone when the game started, at least in the lineup today. He had gone 10 for 37 against him. Well, he is now 10 for 40 and a couple of strikeouts here today. 4-1 New York. 9th inning. 1 gone. No one out. Well, there's Knobloch backing up. Says he has it, and he didn't lie.
Well, we mentioned the pitches at the beginning of this inning. Now he's at 117. That's the most he's thrown in a game this year. And as previously mentioned, he's also trying to throw his first complete game as a Yankee pitcher, or his 3rd complete game. He'd already missed the chance to throw a shutout. That's right.
That was a good fastball. So he's ahead of Floyd, 0-1. Now Cliff has yet to strike out in this game. In fact, he is the only Marlin starter today. Well, let's see. He and Counsell have not struck out. Now he's got 2 strikes on him. Floyd 0 for 3, no strikeouts. Counsell 0 for 2 with no strikeouts. he's got Renteria 3 times. He's got Kotze twice. He's got Zeal twice. He's got Greg Zorn twice. He's got Derek Lee twice. And here's a 2-strike pitch to Floyd. Fouled away. Well, the 47,000 fans are standing here in the Bronx. Here it comes. Fouled away again. We told you about his 19 strikeout game against the Phillies back in 1991. I'll go back and check out his recent strikeout games. Boy, this has to be among his best since that 19 strikeout game. Got 2 strikes on Floyd. And the fans here at Yankee Stadium are not going to be happy unless this game ends with a strikeout. And there's the guy, Tommy, who was supposed to start today. Little tapper. Cone gets the out. And this one is in the loss column. And the Marlins have tied their club record with their 11th consecutive loss. And of course, the Yankees winning this one. They've won 7 straight. And they are now 44-13. David Cone, his 8th consecutive victory. 4-1 the final score. We'll take a local break and return to Yankee Stadium after this.
I'm Roy Hobbs, your new right fielder.
Robert Redford is making a major league comeback.
Fella, you don't start playing ball at your age, you retire.
Fighting against a tragic past and a scandalous affair.
Let them believe what they want to believe.
Sacrificing everything to be champion.
He said that if you played Monday, he could kill you.
All I've got left.
Kim Basinger, Robert Duvall, and Glenn Close in the sports epic, The Natural.
Today at 5 on UPN 33.
A struggling playwright makes a deal with the mob.
I wrote this play. You want to get slapped here?
Now Broadway Hit takes on a whole new meaning. John Cusack, Tracy Ullman, Jennifer Tilly, Diane Wiest, Chaz Palminteri. In a comedy too funny for words.
Don't speak. Don't speak. No, don't speak.
Nominated for 7 Academy Awards. Woody Allen's Bullets Over Broadway.
Tonight at 8 on UPN 33.
On the next Sentinel.
An inmate was murdered at Starkville facility. The authorities there are trying to cover it up. I'm going to go inside as a prisoner.
The Sentinel is about to take on an entire prison. He doesn't leave the yard alive, 1 inmate at a time.
The policeman's life is at stake.
Yeah, you're dead.
Get ready for the ultimate fight for survival. The Sentinel, 5 heightened senses, 1 super cop.
Wednesday at 8 on UPN 33.
Well, the Yankees win this one 4-1. Right-hander David Cone allows only 2 hits as he comes up with only his 3rd complete game as a Yankee pitcher. His 8th consecutive victories, now 8-1. Ryan Dempster, the loser, over 47,000 at Yankee Stadium on Bat Day on this Sunday afternoon. The time of the game was only 2 hours and 16 minutes. The Yankees with 3 bases empty home runs. Back with more here at Yankee Stadium right after these messages.